Hello everyone, welcome here. My name is Oshina and I am announcing a Francine Rivers book club for 2026. Some of you may have seen that I posted in my YouTube community tab about starting a Francine Rivers book club for 2026. I was looking at my shelf, and actually the shelf behind me is where I keep all of my Francine Rivers books, and you'll see a lot of them are gone because I'm going to be holding them up in this video. But I was looking at them and thinking about either doing some rereads, or I just want to read the ones that I haven't read. And her books can be quite heavy, and sometimes it is hard to motivate myself to read them. I was like, I have a YouTube channel, I should do it with you guys. So here we are. I am starting this book club. I just picked 12 of Francine Rivers books. We're going to read one book by her each month, and that's it. And then we'll be done. I know she has more than 12 books, but there's actually only 12 of her books that I would want to reread / read for the first time. So I'm good at leaving it for that. So hopefully you guys are good with that too. If there is some more interest, I don't know, but that's what I'm saying for now. So there you go. So I'll go over kind of some guidelines, rules. There's not even rules, but just like things to know. And then I'll share which book is pairing with which month. I will also have links in my description to download graphics. I did make a colored graphic and a black and white graphic. If you just want to like print it or whatever, download it. And depending on how you track your reading, I figured it might be nice to have something like that. That's what I'll be using as well to make sure I stay on track and I don't forget which book we're reading for which month. And then throughout the year, I will be checking basically Amazon and anywhere else you can buy like more cheaper books if the books that we're going to be reading are on sale. And even, yeah, throughout the year, if they're on sale, I'll let you guys know, either on the YouTube community tab, on Instagram, and that's about it. I want to do a big disclaimer here. You did hear me mention that her books are heavy. They are heavy, you guys. They're not for the faint of heart, and some of her books are lighter than others, but by heavy, I mean they deal with very serious topics. She does not tread lightly with some graphic scenes of either torture or assault. Those are the two main things. And she really dives deep into the feelings and emotions that happen when you are abused or when you go through grief. It's intense, you guys, but it is so well written. It is wrapped up in faith. It's wrapped up in God's love and redemption. And that is what makes her story so powerful, because she does show the really dark, sinful side of our lives, but then she totally covers it with God's light and love and Jesus's sacrifice. So my faith is always encouraged when I read her books, and there's just something very special about the quality of her writing. I've never read anything else like Francine Rivers. She is in a league of her own. That is why when I'm reviewing some Christian books, I'll compare them to her writing and say it felt at this level. To me, in my personal opinion, Francine Rivers is the highest quality that you can ever get in Christian fiction. So that's a high honor. I have read several of her books, so I feel like I can say that because I've read, a lot of Christian books in my time, and Francine Rivers truly is the best. I wish that she would write more books, but of course we do have a lot to choose from. So she has a great backlist, and I'll always be watching for an announcement for a new release. It's been a couple of years since she's released a book. But let's get to it. I will share the graphic and then I will tell you which book we're reading. So in January, we're reading Bridge to Haven by Francine Rivers. Bridge to Haven is one that I read when I was in university, and I love this book. I've given all of her books 5 stars, except for a few that are 4 stars and one that is 3 stars, or maybe even 2 that are 3 stars. But for the most part, all of these books that I'm sharing, I've given 5 stars. Like, these are the best of the best. So Bridge to Haven is one of them. You follow a bit of a dual timeline, or maybe not quite dual, but this is set in like the 1960s. You follow a girl who actually was an abandoned baby under a bridge, and a pastor finds her, and you follow her life. She goes through very intense things. She struggles with her identity, and there is just so much redemption in this book and beautiful romance. That's the other thing. Francine Rivers puts the sweetest, high quality, mature romance in her books. I love reading her romances. So Bridge to Haven is the first book that we'll be reading in January. I'm so excited. We will be doing a live show to discuss this book at the end of the month / beginning of February. I don't have a date yet, but I will definitely make that known in a video or in a post, and I'll schedule the live hopefully a day or two early so that you can at least see, okay, this is when we're going live, this is when you need to read the book by. I do also want to let you know that just recently this book is only $2.99 for me. I don't know how much on sale it is, but it's on sale on Kindle on Amazon. So I will link that down below. Bridgehaven is the first book. So excited. Then February's book is The Lady's Mine, which I don't own, but I have read. This is her last like published fiction book. We haven't seen another one since then. And this was a bit of a departure. This is the most lighthearted book that she has, in my opinion, because you follow this girl who inherits a newspaper, and it's set during a time when women don't have jobs. They're supposed to be just married and housewives, but she really wants to get this newspaper going, and she's in a town with mostly men that judge her, and so you definitely follow her struggle and her romance and all the things that happen to her. And this is a 4-star for me. It wasn't an amazing book, but I still, of course, really loved it. Great writing, and I'm excited to read it again because I would be curious to see if I might actually like it better rereading it. And I'll have to get this one from the library because I don't own this book. Or maybe I'll see if it's on sale on Amazon. Maybe I'll buy it. We'll see. But that is book 2. Okay, March is going to be a very heavy one, and this is where know what you can handle, okay? So March's book is The Atonement Child. This book follows abortion, it follows, the pro-life, pro-choice debate, it follows assault and pregnancy and everything in between. Every single opinion and reaction that could happen in this situation you see in this book from different characters. I thought this was masterfully written, and the ending is heartbreaking but also so beautiful. Like, she mixes heartbreak with God's redemption and grace so perfectly, but it's very heavy, you guys. So be aware if those are triggers for you. Look up trigger warnings at all times. I don't want you to be hurt by these books. She's not out to hurt you with these books, but of course everyone has struggles. So yes, but March's book is The Atonement Child. Okay, so for April, May, and June, we'll be reading her trilogy that everyone loves, but it is the Mark of the Lion trilogy. So for what is the month? April, we'll be reading A Voice in the Wind. This is book 1 in the Mark of the Lion trilogy. This is a loved trilogy. It's probably, after Redeeming Love, her most popular books are this trilogy. It's very intense though. Okay, guys, very, very intense. It's a little bit biblical fiction because it is set like post-Acts. So post-Acts, book of the Bible, Acts. Post-Jesus, Christians are being martyred and attacked and persecuted. And you follow this Jewish girl who is a Christian and basically the terrible things that she goes through. She becomes a slave and you follow her life, but she is so inspiring. Her faith is what I would aspire to be. It's so encouraging, but also terrible what she goes through, but like also makes you thankful for your own life. So ends on a cliffhanger. So if you can't wait for May to read book 2, I understand. Go ahead. You don't have to follow this timeline. Do whatever you want to do, but like you're going to want to read book 2 right away after that book. And book 2 we'll be reading in, I don't know the months, May. An Echo in the Darkness. This book, you guys, it's so good. This is the best book in the trilogy, in my opinion. But, just the pain in this book, but the redemption in this book, it's so good. It's so, so good. So, yes, beware. Check trigger warnings, okay? In this whole trilogy, she talks about witchcraft. She talks about assault. She talks about self-harm. She talks about same-sex attraction. She talks about torture, okay? It's very intense. Yeah, there's serious torture as well. So just beware. But I gotta tell you, it's not gratuitous. It's not all of this graphic stuff for the sake of it. It is to display God's grace and glory and love. And it is so well done. So, but I do want to warn you, if you haven't read these books, take your time. You also may not be able to read these back to back like this. Like a Francine Rivers book a month is intense. So if we need to take breaks, we can do that. But like, I'm ready for it. So let's do it. This is book 3. We'll be reading this in June. Yes, As Sure as the Dawn. This is a bit of a spin-off. I would almost call this a duology, The Voice in the Wind and Echo in the Darkness, because they follow the same storyline, same characters. This book follows characters you met in those first 2 books, but totally different storyline and basically new set of characters. I still loved this. I gave it 5 stars. Heavy witchcraft talked about in this book, but clear like Jesus power in this book. And then also a lot of talk about marriage and gender roles. So definitely a certain perspective on that. We'll talk about it. Okay, for June, this is one of my like very favorites of hers, even though yes, I love all of her books, but this book hit me in such a unique way. I'm very excited to read this again. It's called And the Shofar Blew. This is one of her most modern time books. I think it's set, I would say in like the 90s, maybe early 2000s-ish, like, you know, modern-ish. And this follows basically the rise of a megachurch and what happens to everyone involved in that situation when megachurches rise and how corrupt they can become. And I have no hate against megachurches. That is not what this book is, but it does critique Christians. Not in a hateful way. It actually shows the contrast. Like there's so many different types of faith walks and types of Christians in this book. I related to it so much because at the time I was struggling with church and Christians and people, and I just felt like this spoke to my heart, and it reminded me of the love of Jesus and why we all are Christians in the first place. It's very encouraging, and there's also a sweet romance. So I would recommend this book. I'm very excited to read this. So this is for July. Okay, August is a book I technically don't own this right now. My mom has it in her collection. Actually, the next couple books. So Leota's Garden is the book we'll read in August. I don't know anything about this book. It is one that I've been meaning to read, so this will help me to read it because so far all of the books I've talked about, I've read them. I'm excited to reread them though, but this will be new for me. So Leota's Garden. Honestly, don't know anything about it. I'm gonna have to get it from my mom's collection. And yeah, I'm excited to read it with all of you. I've heard good things about it. Like I've heard quite a few people do like this book. So I'm excited, and it's a standalone, which is nice. And then for September and October, we're going to read another duology that I've never read. First book is Her Mother's Hope. Second book is Her Daughter's Dream. Follows a mother-daughter duo and their struggles. I think it's going to be really powerful. Again, my mom has those books, so I'll have to get them from her. But also, if I see these on sale, because the copies my mom has are hardcover. I would really like paperbacks because all of her books that I own are paperbacks, so I just would like to continue that. I'm gonna be checking Amazon to see, or like I'm gonna be looking everywhere to see if I can find these in paperback for cheap. So anyways, again, don't know much about these other than what I just said, but that is September and October is those books. And then for November, we're gonna read The Masterpiece. I recently reread this in January of 2025, so I put this later in 2026 because I don't want to reread it so close together because it'll be the third time me reading it. I don't care though, this is a very good book. I just love her writing. I eat it up. It's exactly what I want to read, so I love it. And it's mainly centered around romance. It's centered around redemption and salvation. So characters, finding their salvation in Jesus. And there's also spiritual warfare talked about in this book. So I'm very excited to read it again with all of you. And it is a favorite for a lot of people that I've heard. So yay. And then lastly, for December, we will be reading Redeeming Love. This is her best book. It's my ultimate favorite book by her. I cry every time I read this book. There is something so special about it, seeing how God loves us and his epic forgiveness that he just forgives over and over and chance after chance. It's incredible. So this book is very intense. You follow prostitution, children are involved, and it's intense. It is graphic at times, but it's beautiful. It really is. So check trigger warnings though, definitely for this one. For the rest of them, I mean, I told you if there's trigger warnings. For the ones I haven't read, I don't know, but this one definitely, you're gonna wanna watch out for that. But yeah, I put it in December because I think ending with her best book makes sense. So I'm so excited about this book club, you guys. And yeah, I did briefly mention we'll be doing live shows to talk about them. February will be tricky, and I will tell you why in a future video. So I may have to skip February's, and we can either talk about it mid-March or late March at this point. We'll see. Okay, so I may have to double up. I may even have to skip some. I'm gonna try not to. This is like projecting an entire year's worth of content and what I'll be able to do. If my life collapses, then this will also collapse. But you'll have the graphics, and you can always catch up or read ahead, or whatever you want to do. I'm not policing this, but you will see on my Goodreads when I start reading the books. I will post on the community tab with different updates. I will schedule the lives, and if I have to make a video to update stuff, I will. But I hope you guys want to join. Please tell me in the comments if you're joining. If you want to tell me if you've ever read any of her books, if you're fully new to her books, let me know. And if you've read her books, tell me your favorite one that you've read by her. And let's get excited, you guys. I'm so excited for 2026. It's going to be a great year. And thank you for watching this. So again, check the description. All the resources will be down there for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.